Kickin' It in the 757 is brought to you by View It, Do It, where everyone gets a front row seat, and by Apicab, transportation you can trust.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Kickin' It in the 757. I'm your host, Kevin Neff. We brought the big guns out this week as we've got a great show lined up. We're going to show you how you can have a front row seat at an event you're not even attending with our friends at View It, Do It. If ice cream's your thing, whose thing isn't ice cream? Well, we're going to take you back to an old-time ice cream parlor as we visit Surf Dogs in Chesapeake, Virginia. Now, if you're like me and into steampunk and cold craft beers on tap to go with it, you'll definitely enjoy our visit to the Brick Anchor Brew House in downtown Norfolk on Granby Street. But first, we're going to get educated on the revival of the American craft cocktail scene with our friends at Twist Martini Associates, located in Town Center in Virginia Beach.
Here you are, Kevin.
Thank you.
Of course, let me know if I can get you anything else.
I will, Savannah, thank you. You know, one of my favorite things to do living here in Virginia Beach is to hang out in the Town Center area of Virginia Beach. The biggest reason is it's got a little bit of everything, whether it's dining, entertainment, nightlife. You want to check a show out at the Sandler Center. And I'm going to take you to one of my favorite places within Town Center. So join me here on the 757 as we check out Twist Martini Associates, Town Center, Virginia Beach. For the better part of your business life, you've been in the food, beverage, dining and bar business and been successful at it.
Since early 90s. It was interesting, Kevin. Prior to this business, I've never waited on a customer. I've never been in the business. I was much like you on the other end of the bar. Roast was actually the first venture, and it holds like 2,000 people. So that was a big challenge at the very beginning. Doing that, we had 6 months later, we bought Fat Daddy's. I had that on 19th Street, and of course you know the fun we had there, and everybody else that may be familiar with that will remember. But Fat Daddy's was just an absolute blast. After Fat Daddy's, we opened Shakespeare's Late, which was an after-hours club. We opened a couple in Virginia Tech University and ran those for quite a few years. I think every place needs to have a personality, and you know, there's so many corporate opportunities. You know, you got corporate restaurants, corporate this, but I think when you build a relationship with the community and they get to know you, and you're in there shaking their hands, and you are sincere about how their experience has been when they come into your place of business. And as you know, our friendship was developed out of you coming into our businesses. And from that, we've carried out beyond that, which I've done with so many other people in the Hampton Roads area. Now, first of all, I'm a customer, and that's what makes you, if you're a critical customer, that will make you a good restaurateur, because it makes you want to do what you would like to do. It makes you want to create a product of which I would like to receive. We have three things that we do here, and we do it very, very well. We have, of course, the restaurant of which we're sitting in now. We have a chef that is just absolutely extremely talented. And what we brought to Virginia Beach that had not been here before is an American cocktail craft bar. What goes behind the cocktail crafting is a very time-consuming, everything is made from fresh.
The craft cocktail, I hate to call it a movement because it's so culturally American. I mean, it's just as American as jazz is. However, when Prohibition happened, all of our great American bartenders literally left the country and they never came back. It started really growing in New York with Dale DeGroff at the Rainbow Room, starting to introduce some of these pre-Prohibition recipes into his cocktail program there. He then later went on to found the United States Bartending Guild and grow the revival, if you want to call it that.
The beer business has just grown immensely with all the different, with the IPAs, all the different things. And I think that this is an evolution now into cocktailing to where the same millennials are used to so many different things available to them, so many different types of beers, so many different, they're more sophisticated in what they consume. And I find that interesting, and I find that you'd be surprised at how young the crowd is that comes in here also to experience, they're getting educated about cocktailing. And I find that very much related to the craft beers. Very similar. So I think we're evolving from that as well. And still for the for the more mature, like us, the more mature, we got the finest of scotches, and we offer tastings for the cigar club members and things such as that. So we're still educating our consumers here in the Hampton Roads area. We're the first of this kind. We were so excited about cocktail crafting and what we were doing in that arena, and we were very excited about it because we were unique. That information got out, and what it did is it left people not to think about us as a restaurant. And we have incredible chefs.
The chef is obviously the center of the kitchen and from where all of the menu ideas flow from. Our chef is a classically trained butcher, Jeff Ullum. He's fantastic. Now, being a classically trained butcher, that means all of my steaks are hand cut on premise. He also dry ages steaks, which we use for specials. Just last week we had a 16-ounce American Wagyu that he had been dry aging for 30 days. It's absolutely delicious. He hand cuts all of his fillets. We get scrap, and we actually ground that scrap in making our fillet sliders, which are probably the best-selling appetizer. We serve the full menu in the patio or in the cocktail bar, as well as in the dining room. The dining room really suits itself really for private dining, for groups of anywhere between 15 to 40. And because of that, we rent it out quite often. So there hasn't been necessarily a push towards focusing on dining in the dining room, which is available. You can make reservations any night of the week that it isn't rented out. Even just our regular dining, we do a lot of anniversaries, a lot of birthdays, a lot of celebrations.
Okay, so we've already checked out the cocktail bar at the front of Twist with a great panoramic view looking out over Town Center. We checked out the kitchen and some great food in the dining area, and now we're going to check out the third part of Twist, which is the members only cigar club. And I'm not a member, but I'm going to see if I can get in there anyways, and we can all check it out together.
We do allow cigar culture to exist in our restaurant because upstairs I have a private cigar club. It is members only. Our members are entitled to a great number of benefits, but we do also sell cigars to the general public to be smoked outside on the patio. First and foremost, when we acquired this restaurant from Havana Nights, they already had a cigar club. The room is beautiful, the humidors are there, so it's almost a shame to destroy the room and do something else with it. And there's a separate ventilation. Once you're inside the dining room or inside the cocktail bar, you cannot smell the cigars.
Great place for doing business, networking, the relationships that I've had, including you. You coming in here develops relationships that support your business, and they start to work together now, Kevin, where they're supporting each other's businesses. So the network is really happening out of this restaurant.
It's a great social place. Come out and hang out with the guys, like-minded, get to smoke a cigar inside, outside the weather and stuff. The networking here is so fantastic. I mean, I belong to a couple other clubs that actually have dropped their membership because networking up here is just par to none. The food's phenomenal. I mean, and as being a member up here, sometimes you can kind of get them to order stuff off the menu, make it up special. It's kind of cool. It's a benefit of being a member, so it's great. But the food is on the menu, spectacular, 5-star all the way.
There's a lot of opportunity outside of just great food, great craft cocktails, but also the atmosphere, and it's a tremendous business opportunity for networking here. It's great for anybody. We have a lot of young members as well as military members who come in here, so there's a lot of camaraderie, and I think it's a great opportunity for people to come in and be a part of it.
We didn't want to have that starch feeling when you walk in that, everything has to be prim and proper and you have to be a particular way. We wanted this environment to be fun. It's like fun dining, not fine dining, but yet the food represents everything in the world towards fine dining. We've been rated 4.5 stars on Yelp, 4.5 stars on Facebook. So we've done well with what we've done so far, and we're still looking to improve every day. When somebody comes out to your restaurant, a club, no matter what it may be, they're trying to grab that 2 hours. I try to share with my staff that this is their holiday, this is their vacation. They work their tails off nowadays. You got wife and husbands having to work. The obligations of that are so difficult, and and it's been tough with the economy's been the last several years. You can't afford the vacations that you used to be able to afford. So what we're really doing is for that 2 to 3 hours that you come in here, we want you to have that escape. You want to have the fine dining experience. You want to enjoy a craft cocktail. You want to enjoy the finer things in life, and you want to be able to do it to where you feel the environment is friendly and they understand and we understand your needs and what you're looking for.
Almost all aspects of our life, we celebrate in and around food. And so there's a responsibility that we have when a customer comes in here. We don't know what happened to them earlier in the day. We don't know if they're having the best day of their life and celebrating a promotion, or the worst day of their life or celebrating a breakup. And you don't know that this first date might lead to a marriage and 3 kids in 20 years. And we're a part of that responsibility is placed on us. I do think it's a very, very serious responsibility in creating and crafting an environment that lends itself to adding value to someone's life.
We've had a great time here at Twist Martini & Associates in Town Center, Virginia Beach. I was kind of thinking I should probably end this segment the way I started the segment, which was with a great cocktail. Thank you very much, Shira. So next time you want to try something a little different, whether it's some fine dining, some great cocktails, or maybe a fine cigar up in the cigar club, I know you'll have a great time here at Twist Martini Associates in Town Center, Virginia Beach. Cheers. Coming up, we're going back in time for some ice cream. We're going to show you how you can have a front row seat at events you're not even at. And we're going to play a little bit at the Brick.
Stuff is breaking down all around me. How to get it fixed is starting to confine me. There's only one place that I can depend on. My do-it-center store will help get the job done. I love, we love, do it yourself, and I love, we love, money we're saving. Here's where I get it all at my do-it-center store. Give me a hammer, hand me a saw. I'm not slowing down till I've done it all. I love saving money and time at my do-it-center store.
We're getting ready to introduce you to our friends View It, Do It, and their amazing technology that gets everyone a front row seat at events, even if you're not there. Or maybe you'd like to throw an event and you'd like to invite 500 people, but unfortunately the budget's more than maybe 100 person range. Well, none of that matters now with the amazing technology of our friends at View It, Do It.
Vanessa Leanne Lane. I am Director of Operations and part owner of View It, Do It. And we broadcast and record events live to the world.
Mark Lane, my company is viewitdoit.com, or as my wife likes to say, her company is viewitdoit.com. I'm just the Kevin. If you guys have seen Ghostbusters, that'll make sense. Well, View It, Do It is a company that specializes in broadcasting or streaming events from anywhere to anywhere. So we can drop a camera on the middle of a beach, we can drop a camera in the middle of a conference room, wherever, and broadcast that event to anyone that has an internet connection. It will go to their tablet, their phone, mobile device, computer, anywhere.
So whether it's a wedding, a retirement party, an expo, we make it live, we live stream it, and then everybody can watch, and then they can use their phones, and they get to control that camera from their phone. They get to feel like they have that front row seat. I was at a wedding where, unfortunately, the groom was sick, and he was having emergency surgery that morning, and they really didn't know what time he was going to show up. And so the bride said, I don't want to go into reception until he gets there. So we streamed it so she could see it from the next room until he got there.
As long as they have the URL. We also, for weddings in particular, we password protect it to where you have to have the password in order to get in. But anyone with the link and the proper password can watch it from anywhere where they have an internet connection.
You have 360-degree control of this camera. Up, down, left, right, zoom in, zoom out. You control it. And everyone asks me, well, how does it happen when you have 100 people online? Everybody shares control. Everybody gets 60 seconds of control. That way one person doesn't monopolize the time. Our cameras are self-contained. They have their own power. They have their own internet. I can drop it on a beach and broadcast it all day long. So we really want to make it so that it's a luxury for people that want to invite people that couldn't attend. So we want to basically just open up that avenue of allowing people to interact with, local events that are going on.
If you were with us last week, you got to meet Joey Habit and Bad Habit's Wing and Oyster Bar located in Chesapeake, Virginia. Now, what you might not know is that Joey's other establishment is just a few doors down, and it's like taking a step back in time to an old-time ice cream parlor, that is. So check out Surf Dogs in this 757 minute.
I wanted to bring something to the community that was different, something like the parents had from when they were a kid. It's like an old school fountain place almost. We do fresh made burgers, hot dogs with homemade chili, and we have 28 different flavors of ice cream. So it's got the old school ice cream parlor feel to it.
Your logo, the Surf Dog, is pretty unique. There's a story behind that logo and who designed it, isn't there?
Yes. One of the students from Hickory High School, he designed it, and he's at the Universal Studios. He was in Disney's art school as well, and now he works for Universal Studios. So if you look at the logo, it's got a really cool Disney Universal type feel. The kids really enjoy it, and you know, it's something that's been fun for the community and fun for me to run. I would love for people to come out and try Surf Dogs. It's a great family place to come. You get a meal for a family of four at a very reasonable price, and enjoy just a great experience with your children, or just you as a guy wanting to come in and get a great hot dog, fresh made burger, or a great banana split, old school banana split, and we. Old school sundaes and milkshakes.
We aren't sponsors of NASCAR teams, but we will sponsor your next do-it-yourself project. Just go to taylorsdoit.com or text Taylors to 42828 and receive a $10 sponsorship towards your next project with us. I'm Joe Taylor. For 86 years, Taylor's Do-It Centers have been your neighborhood partner for home and garden projects right here in Tidewater. So when it's time for your next project, let's do it together. Oh, and that NASCAR thing, it would be pretty cool though.
I'm Kevin F., and welcome back to Kickin' It In 757. Have you ever want to try someplace different, someplace new, maybe someplace out of the ordinary, and your only requirements were that it had 60 craft beers on tap, was decorated throughout in an industrial steampunk theme, and has a bar and a restaurant on top of a bar and a restaurant with a VIP lounge overlooking the lower bar and a restaurant in between? Well, if that's the case, let me introduce you to Brick Anchor Brew House in downtown Norfolk.
Hey, welcome to the Brick.
Well, that's a heck of a greeting. You must be Phil.
I'm a heck of an owner.
Phil Smith?
I am.
Kevin F., Kickin' It In 757. Thanks so much for having us here today.
So happy to have you here.
I got to tell you, this is probably one of the most stoked segments I was looking forward to, because I had no idea not only was this here, but everything that's in here was here. So we've got limited time, so can we get right to it? Because there's just so much cool stuff here I want to share with all our viewers.
Let's do it.
Excellent. Why the name Brick Anchor for your brew house here in Norfolk?
Well, brick, because it's firstly a historic building made of bricks. And it's a historical street in Granby. And when we were coming up with the name, we thought brick really conveys the thought of strength, of a foundation, of a timeless aspect. And then as we were thinking what else, instead of just calling it the Brick, we thought, you know what, we're in Norfolk, the largest Navy base there is. So it's an homage to the Navy, and it's an homage to the city. And finally, coming from Buffalo, New York, kind of mecca for us is the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, where chicken wings were first invented and made.
Oh,
so
really?
It's kind of tying our hometown into it. When we went to the city to open up our front here, we dug up some pictures from the archives, and you see in this one, for instance, it's a rail car. This is our building in the background. We looked at pictures like this, and we have another one with a Zeppelin over it. We said, you know, why don't we think about steampunk? Because kind of the simple definition for me of steampunk is, if you look at back in the 1800s and if you ask somebody, what might the future look like? What might transportation look like, for example? they would sketch things that earlier, like Leonardo da Vinci sketched.
Okay.
And it's just, what is their concept of the future going to look like? So as we kind of got these pictures, as this one you see here, with the rail car right in front of our building, there were just some unusual things about pictures like this, and another one that we found, which was a Zeppelin over the building, that got us to thinking, all right, we have Zeppelins, we have rail, we have airplanes, we have submarines, we have the Navy, we have mass transportation down here in Monticello. Why don't we think about steampunk, more industrial and transportation oriented? At the top of the telephone pole that you see here, back in the day, these things were called insulators, and the electrical wires ran through them.
My grandfather, who raised me, collected those.
And as a kid, I used to throw rocks at them and try and break them. But now, instead of breaking them, we're actually tying it in here to our theme. And so as you can see, Kevin, just to show you the detail that we've tried to go through to tell this story of the brick and our theme, is that we were able to find someone in California who had the ability to put together insulators just like this, so just like that was up here.
Wow, look at that.
And the rail, it's a rail tie, and real heavy, but again, we wanted to integrate even small details into our place. The rail and the insulation, and we carry that throughout. This is a picture of a Zeppelin, a real Zeppelin from 1922. It's called the Roma, and it was an Italian airship that the U.S. Air Force, excuse me, the U.S. Army took over. But the unique thing about that is it's very nearly over our building right now in this picture. And an unfortunate part of it is about 30 minutes to an hour after that, it unfortunately crashed, and 34 people lost their lives. And it was before the Hindenburg, but yet nobody knows about it in our place in history for Norfolk. Initially, to be honest, I wasn't coming to Norfolk. I was going to go to Virginia Beach or Newport News, and my realtor kept telling me to come look at Granby Street, come look at Granby Street. And at first I resisted, because my remembrance of Granby Street from 20 years ago was that it wasn't necessarily the place where you wanted to not only put a business, but not even, to walk on the street. And when I came here and just saw the vibrancy, and I saw all of the kind of infrastructure and what has happened to Norfolk over the last 20 years, coupled with the beautiful building that we're in, it just made a lot of sense to me to come to Norfolk, because I wanted to be part of the thread in this community and to be a place where people can come and enjoy themselves and enjoy the environment. And I wanted to be somewhere where it really felt like a community, not just a stop on the way home, where I would have plenty of regulars who would come in, we would become their kitchen, and we would know our guests and what they like. And we would treat them, my motto is the mama test, and we want to make sure that we treat everyone who comes in our door like you would want your mother treated. And this just felt like a great place to do that, because it's very collegial. Just here with our foldable doors. These doors that you see, we received a grant from the Downtown Norfolk Council from Vibrant Spaces, because we wanted to open up to the community. We're a community-based place.
Now, what is Vibrant Spaces? Because I've heard that term used before, and I also saw it on your website when we were preparing to come over here. What is Vibrant Spaces?
Yeah, Vibrant Spaces is a national competition and national organization, if you will, that strongly encourages in design, in the way that you structure your buildings and business plans, that you aren't separated from your community of which you're serving, that you open literally the space up as best as you can. And we thought that one of the ways that we can do that is by taking down the wall, because we want to break down barriers in the community. And this actually slides open, and we have a nice little seating, standing section outside there.
Have you seen the benefit of it already as far as patrons enjoying that?
Oh, sure. Yeah, a lot of people will go out there and just kind of, as I call it, watch the world go by. Sometimes there's nothing better to do than just sit out there with a nice cold beer and just watch the world pass by as you enjoy your story of the day. So, again, I mentioned about the details, and one of the things that I found with a magazine was a picture of an old door. that looked like it came right off the ship. And since anchor is in our name, and since a lot of our interior here we wanted to design to look like a ship, I found an artist, and I try to support the local community as much as I can. I have an artist by the name of Igor up Virginia Beach who came and painted this all. It's just a regular door, and had the wood dowels put on to make it look like rivets, and there we go. That's your entrance to a ship.
Phil, I got to ask you, I noticed this right when I walked in. I didn't know if this was just a replica or this looks like the old mining cars, like they push on the rails and mines and stuff. Is that what this is?
Yeah, Kev, you have a great eye. This piece is actually from the late 1800s, and some of it has been restored, especially the metal pieces on top. But what it was back in the day was a cart that you would push down the middle of a manufacturing plant where many women were sewing. So it contained all types of threads and spindles on here. So again, we wanted to give it that antique look, but at the same time, make it look modern. And you're not going to find many post stations at a restaurant when you walk in.
And as we look around today, a lot, if not most of the decorations, they're not just replicas or decorative. A lot of this stuff is authentic, isn't it?
Oh, it's authentic. It sure is. And from the artwork that we hired an artist to do, to even overhead with these fans that we had made for us up in New York.
Well, I think what's so great about it is, Phil, that from the time you walk in, you're already setting the tone of your personality of what the brick is here.
Right. Yeah, we wanted this to be a place where people can come and get a little bit different experience. And we have 3 different floors that have a little bit different vibe, but we did want to set the tone, as you say, from right when you walk in the front doors, through our navy doors, and you see this, and you see a smiling face there, in welcome to your kitchen, welcome to your place.
What's really great about this is, just it's human nature. We are always going from point A to point B, or always in a hurry to eat our meal or pay our tab or whatever. But what's great about here is you show us around, the attention is really in the details, and that's what we're hoping, and especially with our viewers, will go and look at the things that we're showing today. Right. There's just so many hidden little gems in here, and I know there's some more you want to show us, so let's take a peek.
Sure is. Okay.
Hey everyone, I hate to do this to you, but it's what we call in the industry a tease, because you're going to have to come back next week if you like what you've seen so far at the Brick, as we continue our tour and show you a lot of the hidden nuances and gems that make the Brick such a unique destination on Granby Street in downtown Norfolk. Well, that's a wrap on another episode. We hope you enjoyed watching it as we did making it. And remember, if you'd like to catch past episodes or check out new places to go and destination cities around Hampton Roads, you can check out our website anytime, anywhere, even in your underwear if that's your thing. Just go to kickingitinthe757.com to explore new places to go and things to know. But until next week, I'm your host, Kevin Neff, and remember, we're kicking it, in the 757. See ya.